And drink some water before we go. What the hell? I told you I don't like these tops. Does that damn thing not come off? What in the... Dude.
You don't like the sport top?
Son.
Why don't you just use it as a...
Dude, what the hell? Like,
let me see. Let me pop it out of there.
Look at that. Is that real? Like, what the hell? I don't want hands and stuff all over my body.
I'm just gonna pop the top.
Dude, that's some stupid... Get off my hand!
Tomatoes! Wolf Tick Nation, thank you guys for tuning into once again another Wolf Tick Videos episode. On today's episode, we have got the good old trustworthy RockShox Recon RL 100 millimeters of travel. We've got the 110 by 15 millimeter boost through axle, and guys, we've gotten a reliable, trustworthy, fully upgraded Marin Bolinas Ridge 2
Cheech.
Old Project Cheech. It's been a while. We are fixing to do a kind of a real-time review and how this fork has held up thus far here at Mount Nebo State Park. A long-term review. This right here was one of our first big upgraded forks, and it was a banger out of the gates, all right? I probably said soaks it up 80 times. I'm going to try to refrain from using that word today because we had to make the last episode out of a drinking game. Now, this fork here, priced pretty good. You guys can check out the links in the description below. You can also find it on sale on some different sites. This fork is one of those forks when we got into the bike channel, we really figured, man, the fork makes all the difference. This guy here may have been a little bit heavier than expected, but we talk about a fork being heavy and a fork being reliable and a fork just having that good quality feel. Sometimes I'm all about a heavier fork up front. It's the Recon RL.
Well, you know? Only when the fork's a smoothie are you happy with it being heavy.
Yeah, for sure. If it's a boat anchor and it's not a good fork, then of course we're going to have some issues. But this guy here used to be on the TAF. We put it on this bike. It's got a lot of miles on it.
It's been on the TAF. I think it's been on the Ascension.
It's got a lot of miles on it, guys. But we're going to figure out and see, have the miles been good to it? You know what I'm saying? Will this fork continue to perform? We're going to put some air in this guy. We're going to grease her up. We're going to clean her up really good. And we're going to take it down Hayes Creek Run, everybody's favorite trail. It's the Black Diamond here at Mount Nebo, one of my favorite trails. And we're just going to see how it performs over all these years after the install and being on multiple bikes on the channel. All right? So if you guys may be looking at a new upgrade for the season of riding, for next season riding, might want to go with the RL. All right? Let's see how she performs. All right, love you. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, love you. Have fun. See you at the bottom.
Yeah, I'll see you at the bottom. If I'm guessing I'm probably gonna get a flat.
Okay.
So I'll be giving you a shout.
Okay.
All right, let's do this, guys. Hayes Creek Run. Here we come on the Marin Bolinas Ridge 2. We got the Acolyte or the A12 LT. Whoo! A12 on this thing. I've got the fork at 70 PSI. Now, it's something to be said, man. We've had this fork for over 4 years, and I think I've changed the pressure on it one time, and it still stayed at 70. That's impressive. Not a lot of rebound adjustment on this fork. We do have a compression on it. We do have the compression, and in a good fork, I mean, we'll see how it goes if we have to be adjusting all the way throughout. But got the sag set. Here we go. First hit was good. Second hit was good. So hopefully these brakes are good. And this fork is just, oh man, super smooth on the takeoff. Now, it only has 100 millimeters of travel. God, this bike feels so solid. A little bit of chain slap from the L2 back there. But, I mean, the fork is just, or this bike is just a rider's bike now. Get some tires on this thing, and hopefully it won't fall today because we do have a very leafy trail out here. Old Trail Jesus been taking care of it, I'm sure. One of our patrons. But anyway, this fork is just smooth. Before we get any further, real quick, I hit those first 2 features over there. I want to see if we've bottomed out. Okay, and these stanchions were nice and clean. It looks like we have not bottomed out. I think we have a little bit more travel to go on this thing. But like I said, that's the downside, is you don't have a compression ring. Kind of need one. 70 PSI with the Recon. Oh, yeah. And the smalls, it does so good. So good. Just like a fork should do. It's very responsive. You know, we do have the tapered steer tube with the through axle. And it just feels solid up front, man. It is a little bit heavier than most forks that we've had, air forks on the channel. You know, and the price, it's right at like a $300 fork, I believe. You guys can check out the affiliate links in the description below. But sometimes having a little bit heavier of a fork up front just seems a little bit more sturdy, I guess is a good word for it. Here we go. Yeah, it just has a good sturdy feel to it. When I am getting air on this bike, it doesn't feel like the front is just weighed down a whole bunch, which is always a good thing. Look at that. Wow. Impressive. Yeah, this fork has been on a lot of bikes. We've ridden the crap out of it. It's got some battle scars, and she's still performing, I would say, better than day one. I think whenever you get a brand new fork, it usually takes a little bit of time to do a good break-in process, and that's why we got Savage Rock Garden. That's why we've been doing some of these long-term reviews. Oh, that was the wrong line on that. Savage Rock Garden. Man. Little tabletop here, cleared it, and my tree's gone thanks to Trail Jesus. All right. Ooh, yeah, we're flowing now, baby. Ooh, little overshot on that. Trail Jesus, man, you're taking too good of care of these trails, man. This trail is fast. You know, we had the races and the cross-country stuff we're unable to make this year here at Mount Nebo. Forget what it was called. But you can totally tell they've gone through out here and just re-up these trails and put some love into them. So thank everybody for putting their time into this trail system. And it's completely free, man, which is awesome. But back on the topic here of this fork, it does so good in the hits, the big hit department. You know, this trail here is just famous for having some really intense rock gardens. Let's see this drop. Oh, yeah. Some really intense rock gardens and stuff that just like goes into a little crevice, and the next thing you know, there's a big rock there. Like this trail has a lot of that, and this fork is doing such a good job in being able to soak that stuff up. I'm trying not to use that word because I used the crap out of it on the first time, but we're getting a lot more travel here on these stanchions. I think these are only 30mm stanchions. Kind of another downside. I like 32, 34, 36, something like that. I'm pretty sure they're only 30. They might be 32. You guys let me know in the comments for sure. Let's see, 51mm offset. I think the pressure is there where we need it. I was talking crap about not having enough adjustment, right? And I forget, like on the original real-time review when we started going over that stuff, we do have the compression and the lockout here. Oh, a little chain derailment on that drop. We do have some adjustment, the lockout and the compression on here. Look at that. I probably need to be like in 8th gear as opposed to 12th gear. But I just like pedaling throughout and going fast. You know, I guess on a fork like this one, I'm getting at is if it's a good enough fork, if it's a good fork, you know, you should just need to do minimal adjustments to it and be happy, you know what I'm saying? And it should be able to perform well throughout. And that's kind of the story with this fork. There's not a lot of adjustment. You know, you only got so much, you only got so much amount of rebound. You've only, you know, got a few clicks of compression up there. But it's okay because the fork performs so well, and every little bit of adjustment really matters. It really makes a difference. So that's nice, you know. Maybe you can get a little overwhelmed. Maybe like the X Fusion fork that we reviewed here recently. You know, you have the high compression, low compression, and that's a tuner's fork. But maybe you don't want a tuner's fork. Maybe you want just a good, solid, heavy-duty performance fork. And I honestly think that's where the Recon RL shines, you know? You're going to spend a little bit of extra money as opposed to something like a budget fork, but you kind of get what you're paying for in this case. And that's not always true with a lot of bike products. You know, that's part of the reason we have this channel, is to show you guys you don't have to, you don't have to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a product just because the name on it. But something that's great is if you do, you know, and it's the RockShox like this. It's a fork that obviously is going to last you for quite some time on some pretty heavy riding, and that's what this fork has done. Oh, buddy, this trail is a little rough to ride and see where your lines are because the leaves. I've ridden this trail probably maybe more than anybody in the state of Arkansas, I'd like to think, and it is hard to remember where my lines are on this thing. Overshooting stuff. Got a little fast portion here, and I would say this is some of the small department, and the fork is doing a tremendous job of absorbing all the little stuff that this trail has to offer. I'm loving being able to actually pump that front end, and only given that it's got 100 millimeters of travel, that's surprising, because a lot of the times you're bottoming out constantly. But like we talked about with adjusting it, I've adjusted it to the point where it's pretty perfect for this trail right now, at least with these trail conditions. And it's responding super well to everything from smalls to bigs to, woo, big features like that. Wow. God, this trail is so fast. Dude, it is just something else, this Recon. Damn, hopefully I didn't mess up too much of the camera shot right now for you guys. I didn't realize that the camera was face down. That's usually my really fast area here. Oh yeah, my big old turn they redid just for me. Yes. Oh man. Nice to have such a confident bike, or be so confident on a bike, man. These brakes are finally starting to get heated up a little bit. These are the Avids, I believe. At least the levers are the Avids, and I think they're toe seek. Just regular mechanical brakes. Oh, they cleared that little portion out too. They got rid of that tree. Oh man. We'll take a look at this fork here past this $1 million bridge. I wonder if it really was $1 million. Okay, so we've bombed it out for sure. Right there, we've bombed it out. Man, it's super solid up front. Oh, another thing, guys, with this bike, forgot to mention, this is the FSA adapter. This is a 44 to 44 headset, and this FSA adapter allowed us to put a tapered steer tube on a non-tapered bike. That was the first bike that, this is the first bike that we've done an upgrade on. That's cool. You know, we've recently done the Wolf Tooth one. This year was the Original, so that's pretty cool. And another thing about this is it's very smooth in the steering. A lot of times you do the adapters, kind of like those Jessica adapters and some more maybe budget style headsets, but this FSA one is extremely smooth for this bike. Let's keep on continuing here. I remember talking some crap about this fork. I was all over it in the beginning, right? Then we put like on the Ascension and I think another bike. I was basically saying that I don't like that it only has 100 millimeters of travel. I'm kind of a travel. I love 150, 160. I think we have a fork that has 180. But for the right bike and the right type of trail, that whichever you're riding, you don't need a whole massive amount of travel. But the 100 millimeters of travel on this bike is perfect. It doesn't leave me wanting more whatsoever, which is surprising, you know, because I love just a crazy amount of travel. More travel, the better, I always think in my head. But this right here kind of proves, look at this, able to really lay into that fork. I'm using those pumps to gain speed with the fork and not the tail end of the bike. But I think the 100 millimeter travel is just great. Like I said, the responsiveness and the feeling of this fork is like I'm one with the fork, and that's always important. Hopefully we don't fall right now. These tires aren't the greatest. This trail is very leafy, but we'll see. We'll try to get up to some good speed. Oh yeah, like that. I mean, these tires are struggling, but we're getting it. We're flowing. Wow. Oh my gosh. was thinking I may have beat Wolfman down here. What a bike. What a fork. The RockShox Recon RL. Heck yeah, man. Dude, such an impressive, I mean the bike, right, number one, but we are talking about the RockShox Recon RL, and I'm already talking about wanting to do, I was like, man, what upgrades can we do to the Bolinas Ridge 2 so I can get back on this thing? We got to put some tires on it and hit that trail again. Talk about a smooth smoothie. That fork is great. It's 100 millimeters of travel, which surprises the crap out of me because I love more travel in my opinion. You know, I'm a travel. More travel the better, but at 100 millimeters of travel and getting to really dial this thing in, I was crap talking, hey, you don't really have that much of adjustments. You do have a compression knob, but you got 5 clicks of rebound, then you got air. But you get it dialed in like we did up there, and it's perfect for this trail. 100 millimeters of travel is plenty enough, especially for this bike. And I forgot that we have the FSA adapter on this, remember?
Yeah, that's the first time we did the conversion of the 44 to 44 to a tapered.
Yeah, so to have that on here and to feel as solid and smooth as it does is very impressive. You know, this, like we said, we talked about this fork being a little bit heavier. I think it just adds a little something to this bike. Like, I think it really adds just another factor of quality, and you really feel grounded on it. You know, this is a perfect like cross country bike, but we're taking it downhill. But I think that says a lot about that Recon RL up front. Very good ride today. Again, guys, check out those affiliate links in the description below if you're interested in maybe a new fork for maybe next season or for the rest of this season. You want something to do, and we'll even put that headset or something similar to it if we can find that adapted headset. Because remember, it's a 44 to 44. It's not a tapered headset, but we got a tapered fork in there. But all right, Wolf Dick Nation, we will see you guys on the next episode.
No, it's a tapered headset. It's not a tapered head tube.
Oh, tapered headset, not a tapered head tube.
Yeah.
Tapered steer tube. All right, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Wolf Dick Nation, appreciate you guys watching, man.
Yeah.